Hi everyone, haven't vlogged in quite some time, so I figured I'd check in because I just left, wait for it, a doctor appointment. What? She even said to me today when she said to do a follow-up, she's like, we could do 3 months or 6 months. She's like, if you're sick of doctor's appointments, I'm like, I am sick of doctor's appointments. But I learned a couple of things, which is why I'm checking in. The first thing the first and actually the last part of my doctor appointment, if you notice that they offer snacks, this looks like advertising, but if you notice that they offer snacks in a waiting room, because the building I'm in right now is like super fancy. I'm not going to say where I am. Apparently there's a Dana-Farber section in the building where I am too. But I've never been to this building before, and it's like redonkulously fancy. But finishing my statement, if you find a waiting room and they have snacks in there, feel free to take some. You've been through enough shit if you're going through all this stuff that you deserve to have some Skinny Pop. And I looked inside the refrigerator and I'm like, what's the fanciest drink that I can find in here? So I got a bottle of Pellegrino. I don't even like Pellegrino. But I know that if you go to a restaurant, it costs more to get the Pellegrino, and I'm like, screw them. I'm sick of going to the doctors, and the receptionist was like not friendly with me, so I'm like, F you. I'm going to take your Pellegrino and walk out the door and get lost on my way down. I'm not at oncology. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. An unrelated doctor appointment. One that I actually had to be cleared. The only reason I go to this doctor is because I had to be cleared because I had COVID. I had COVID a few months before I was diagnosed. I had COVID in March of 2021, and I was diagnosed with cancer in July of 2021. Weirdly, with timing right now, I am approaching the 2-year anniversary of my surgery, my double mastectomy. Peppy people might say, oh, it's my foob's second birthday. I'm not in that space right now at all. What I love about the doctor I saw today, and you don't need to know my whole medical history to know what kind of doctor, but the point is, there are so many doctors out there, especially like in the Boston area. There's like so many doctors, it's ridiculous, that you can pick and choose. You know, I've fired 2 doctors in the past month because I'm like, I don't like the way they speak to me. They're dismissive. Some of them are just like, oh, well, if you just lost some weight, then like, blah, blah, all these like magical things will happen. And what I found out from many of my doctors is that the reason why I really can't lose weight right now, like I'm trying, you know, other than like starving myself, which I've been told not to do, the meds that I'm on post surgery, keeping the cancer away, they slow down your metabolism so much. And part of why I've been so cranky and like absent from vlogging and stuff is like, I'm just not happy right now in general. And that's kind of the focus of what I wanted to talk to you today about, because this seems like it's like the 2-year slump. And when I mentioned it to the doctor I saw today, she said something like, oh, I've heard about that phenomenon. And I'm like, phenomenon? Like, it's my life. My life is a phenomenon. But she was right. I like her a lot. Like, she looks at me in the eye when she speaks to me. We have conversations back and forth. She asks me questions about timing of doing things like changing meds or whatever, and how that will work in my lifestyle, and if side effects are so bad that I can't stand it anymore. I love that, because not all doctors do that. Part of why I've been unhappy with some of my medical team in the cancer world is because I feel like I'm just being told, you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to do this, and if you don't, your cancer will come back, so you choose what you want to do. What the fuck kind of question is that? Of course I choose not to have cancer, but I also want to have a life again too. And I've been in a place of being very emotionless. I won't say I'm depressed, because I don't feel like I'm depressed. I'm certainly not anxious, because if anything, I've been more chill than I have been in a long time, but I'm in this place of like no emotion. Like, no happy, no sad, no mad. I'm cynical, but I'm just in this place of like almost nothing. And I don't like it. And I know I won't stay here forever, but I don't know what it's going to be that's going to turn that switch off. And when I explained that today, because I realized that, like, yeah, it's in a couple of days, it'll be 2 years since my surgery. And whether you realize it or not at the timing, I feel like subconsciously you know that, like, it's a big anniversary coming up of something big happening. And obviously having my boobs chopped off was incredibly life-changing, aside from the whole cancer part. I'm still not at acceptance with my new boobs. What they look like is, I won't say fine, that sounds like belittling. Oh, my hand's a little sore. I mean, they look awesome for reconstructed boobs. They certainly are shaped way better than even my original boobs are. But like when I went for my bra fitting and saw what my cup size was, I was like, I've never been that cup size before. Although weirdly, like when I look at the bras, it doesn't really seem like my new bras look that much different than the old ones. I don't know. Maybe because I got them from like a mastectomy boutique. I have no idea. It's hot in here. I should put the air on, but that's going to mess up with my audio. So I guess it'll just push me to finish sooner. So anyway, one thing I wanted to mention too that I think is important to separate out from this whole cancer thing. I've been talking about the swelling of my fingers and my feet a lot, especially because it's summer and it's hot. And I just assumed that like the swelling of my extremities was tied in with like the neuropathy that I feel. The neuropathy really is in my fingers, not my toes so much. But the swelling is to the point where like I don't wear the same kinds of shoes that I used to wear, because I'll have my shoes on for like a half an hour. I get to work and I have to like loosen my straps because my feet are swollen. And it's not just like end of the day feet swelling. Like this is like 11 o'clock in the morning, my feet are swelling. And it's not just about shoes. It's about comfort. And then I buy these new shoes, and I don't remember if I had mentioned this in my last vlog, but I fell a couple of weeks ago, like walking a path I usually walk. I mean, yes, I was wearing wedge heels. They weren't that high, and they were Clarks. It's not like I was wearing stilettos or something, but I just hit a pebble wrong and I fell. And I still have a mark on my knee that I'm putting vitamin E on so that I don't scar. And I was really sore for a couple of days after. I feel like I'm fine now. It's just I have to watch my knee so it doesn't like scar for good. But it turns out that all that swelling is from another medication that I'm on that has absolutely nothing to do with the whole cancer thing. But like I've been on that med. Well, I guess that's why. I mean, this was my year follow-up with her. And after she started me on the meds, and like now I know it's from that, so I can't blame cancer for that. So I just wanted to make sure I was clear with all of you guys and gals and whoever's watching that like the swelling in your fingers and toes is not necessarily a side effect from like tamoxifen or Lupron or Zometa or whatever else I'm on, I can't remember, that it's separate from that. So, and that's something to be super concerned about. Like I don't notice it in the wintertime as much because I wear compression, like even right now I'm wearing compression leggings, but I wear compression socks in the wintertime. In the summer I don't do that. Apparently they have nude colored compression like stockings, but that don't have toes so that you can still wear them with sandals. It'd be nice if I had air conditioning in the building that I work in, because that's been broken for a while. So wearing like wearing any like clothes that are going to cover my legs entirely is going to make me like sweat profusely. So I'll have to either pray to the facilities gods that they fix my freaking air conditioning, or just suck it up and sweat a lot. I don't know. It's not really a health concern, but I just wanted to separate that out. But the main thing today is just it's this like 2-year slump. I don't know if slump is even the right word. Phenomenon. It's the 2-year phenomenon. what that's about is like a year after, at least for me, and for many breast cancer survivors that I talk to, because I'm in a few groups now and stuff, that I see those people and very much love it. Like, I do a Zoom right now with a group of people that were in the Paving the Path to Wellness program from Newton Wellesley, and like, us sharing our stories has just been amazing. Like, the support and just laughing and having people that get it is just so important. And I'm just blessed that I have that group of people. It's like 5 of us or so. I mean, there's a larger group, but like whoever's free shows up, and it's just really important for me to have that group of people that get it, and that I get along, like, we get along with each other and we help each other. There's like no judgments, and it's just a really nice group to have. It took me a while to get there. I mean, it took me about 1.5 years afterwards to find that. So patience. I know it sucks. And I know, like, everyone's like, be patient, but you have to. It's so easy to, like, crawl down a wormhole with this whole friggin' process, and, like, you know, be in a depressive state or be in an anxious state or whatever. But I do have hope that, like, this is not what my life is going to look like all the time. You know, it's not even a matter of end dates. It's a matter of, like, you know, what can you do? And if I hear one more time, like, oh, well, your blood pressure wouldn't be so high if you watch your salt. I've been watching my salt for years. You know, the amount of Mrs. Dash products I have in my kitchen is, like, ridiculous. Anyhow, like, I do all the right things. Everyone always says I do all the right things. But, like, your body just does what your body does. Which is why there's no blame or shame with the whole cancer thing. Because, like, you can do all the right things and get cancer. And you can do all the wrong things and not get cancer. So, like, you gotta live every day till its fullest. But that's not really what I'm doing right now. And that's okay. So, yeah, the 1 year mark is, like, for me, the 1 year mark was just kind of reflecting on, like, the past year. And I mean, you can rewind to, or not rewind, that's old school, but you can go back to other vlogs that I've done to see, like, how I was, like, behaviorally at the 1 year mark. I feel like I don't even remember when I did my bra burning. I don't even remember if that was, no, that was 100 days out. But I mean, it's that kind of stuff, you know, like, I'm not, well, obviously the bras I have now I like to keep, but I'm not in the same place where I was a year out. There definitely is a PTSD aspect to this whole cancer journey. And when you have, like, surgeries and stuff afterwards and whatever, and then the flooding and, like, oh my gosh, like, there's a lot going on for me, but if it's not flooding, it's something else for someone else. And now that I'm hitting the 2 year mark, it's like the appointments slow down. There's not as many. And because there's not as many, it seems like there's not as much support. The biggest transition that I'm sorting out right now is the people in my circle. And I've done vlogs about people in my circle before, and how that changes. And, like, just yesterday I was on Facebook, and I was looking at someone's profile that, like, part of me was like, I want to unfriend her because she's not reached out to me, like, once to even ask me how I am since this whole thing started. And part of me is like, but she's my fun friend. But then she was my fun friend because I haven't talked to her in, like, 2 years now. And that transition with the people that stick around after you've had a cancer diagnosis, it's really, really, really not easy. It's really not easy. Some people I miss incredibly, but I miss the relationship that we once had. Sounds like an ex-boyfriend kind of thing, but I'm talking about, like, girlfriends. I miss the friendship that we once had. And when you find out that you have cancer, obviously it's life-changing. Like right now I'm parked illegally and I really don't give a shit. What are they gonna do? Really? I'll take my Pellegrino and say, listen, buddy, do you know who I am or what I've been through? Don't mess with me. Yeah, I feel like at the 1 year mark, you're more like, look how far I've come. You know, I beat cancer. I'm still here. All of the accomplishments that you've made. And at the 2 year mark, I'm like, yeah, like I did those things. I'm not like making them small because obviously they're huge things. But like, okay, now what's next? Like, I can't just go back to like life, and I can't go back, or not go back. I'm the life that I want to create for myself post cancer. My body's not allowing me to be at that level right now. Like, I could look forward and manifest what I want my life to look like after having gone through this, and like knowing that like I deserve to have friends that are supportive no matter what I go through. And I deserve to like live in a nice place, which I do now, and it's dry. You know, I deserve to have a job that fulfills me. I deserve to have A, B, and C, whatever. But not all those things are attainable as you're navigating this at the 2 year mark, at least not for me. I'm still, there's still things that are guiding my path because of the cancer journey that I wish were out of the way, but they're just not gonna be for a bit. One of them is the weight gain. Like, I'm intentionally growing my hair as long as I can to distract people or myself, probably distract myself from the weight gain. I weighed in today, and I swear to I gained like 30 pounds, like pretty much overnight. Like, no exaggeration, pretty much overnight. I gained 30 pounds once I started all the meds. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, I remember wearing a bikini 3 years ago. Like, how do you go from wearing a bikini, which is not an easy feat when you're like hitting 50 almost and you're wearing a bikini? Like, that's pretty cool. And I was like conscious of how like I was eating and exercising, but it's not like I was like a gym rat or something. Like, how do you go from having a bikini body to looking like you're 8 months pregnant all the time? Like, I hate when I look down and I see my stomach before I see my boobs. And there's no answer for it right now. There's too many things going on. I mean, I have an ultrasound coming up soon. Well, actually, I'll have two, because I just scheduled one today too, just to see she has to see what's going on. Anyway, like, I don't understand. It's not like my middle section is like flabby. It's not, it just feels like I'm pregnant. It feels kind of not hard, but it feels like how it felt even before I found out I had, it was before I found out I had cancer. It was after I had the kidney stone. And I'm like, well, this is a new thing. Like, what's going on? And I blamed it on the pandemic. I'm like, oh, I'm just eating more, whatever. But the point is, like, my body is just not, it's a whole different body that I don't recognize, and I don't know how to dress it. I don't know, like, just even in the shower. It's such dumb stuff. Like, you go to shave your legs and like this belly's in the way, and I'm like, what the hell? But it's funny because when other people see me, like, I have skinny legs and they don't see my midsection at all. Although now maybe they will if they're watching this. But I'm not happy with my body at all right now. I mean, I have no makeup on, I'm at a bad angle, but I don't really care right now. Like, I don't want to go into the dating land because I feel far from sexy. Although my new bras make my boobs look sexy. Yeah, it's just it's a midpoint, but I don't know what the other side is or when it's going to end up happening. It's a matter of being forgiving with yourself and just like forgetting that this is part of the process. And I feel like it's not just about cancer. I feel like it's about anything that happens that's huge and traumatic, that like being a year out versus 2 years or 3 years is obviously, they're very different emotions. So, you know, I searched YouTube for help when I was going through everything. And I know it's hard to find the help that you're looking for. And, you know, I'm not a doctor or psychiatrist or whatever. Some days I feel like I could be one. But I just wanted to come on here just to explain where I am at the 2-year point. In case that's where you are too, and you're feeling like not good feels and you want to know how to get out of it. Like, I don't have all the right answers. That if I did, I wouldn't be feeling like this. But I'm like pushing myself to do more. Like, I went kayaking yesterday. I wanted to go over the weekend, and I just did not have the energy to. You know, you have to, again, treat yourself almost like you're your own kid. Like, little Jen, you've been through so much. Like, let's go get some ice cream today. But your doctor says, no ice cream for you. Too salty, too much sugar. But once in a while, it's okay. Go get your Pellegrino and Smart Pop instead. Yeah, so just, you know, try to just be forgiving and breathe. The meditating is, I've meditated more in the past few months than I have in a very, very long time, or probably ever. I don't know. I feel like I can have earbuds in and do like 10-minute meditations like throughout the day, just to like, I don't know, just to be grounded. And when it comes to people, I don't have the answers for that for sure. I don't. I'm not in a place to even have like deep conversations with people as to analyze, like, why didn't you talk to me after like I got diagnosed? Like, I just don't have the energy to get into all of that right now. Some of those people, like, do I want to cut them out of my lives? Like, no. I mean, 2 years isn't forever, but like, I don't know. It's just, when I do want to do things socially, the people that I'm asking to do things with are different from who I used to ask. And it's very easy to go back to like people that you're used to reaching out to and expecting that they're gonna like make you feel good or do this for you or help you with this, and they may not step up. I feel like I've gotten much better with, you know, when I want to feel good about myself, before I even like text someone or call someone, I look at the name like before I hit send or whatever, before I start typing the actual message, and I'm like, am I going to feel good about myself if I'm around this person? And if the answer is yes, then I text or I call. If the answer is, I don't know, then I don't. And if the answer is no, I probably wouldn't have gotten on my phone in the first place. So while it sucks to have your circle be that much smaller, even if it's one person, you know, it's one person. One thing too that I'm going to start doing, which I would suggest too, like even if you don't even have a person, because I know that there's many people that don't. It's awful. Some people just don't. You know, their families aren't around and their friends just disappear and they have like no one. There are a lot of things to get involved in where you don't have to like, you know who's actually doing it. You're just doing something that's fun for yourself. Like I mean, most towns have recreation departments where you can sign up for something, you know, whether you want to sign up for like tennis or, pickleball. By the way, I know I made that one vlog where I was joking about pickleball. I found out that if someone hits the pickleball hard enough at an implant, like it actually happened, that someone's implant actually popped from being hit by a pickleball. I have this like love-hate relationship with pickleball. I've never played. I do plan on playing next month because I signed up for something where I'm playing pickleball for the first time. But like an arts and crafts thing, or like going to a concert or going to a conference or something, like, you don't even have to talk to anybody. It's just a matter of like getting your ass up and out of your home and doing something. And it doesn't have to be with someone. You could do it on your own if you want to, which I know gets old over time, trust me. But at least you're doing like something, you know? All right, me and my Pellegrino need to go home and eat some food that's low in salt. But I just wanted to come on here and know that I'm not like disappearing. I just kind of needed a vlogging break for a while. Yeah, so if you have anything to share, of course, you know, comment below. I want us all to be there for each other. I hardly ever check my email. I don't, most of my communication is not through email from here, but if there's anything else, again, that you want to share for other people or wise tidbits that you have from the 2-year mark, you know, feel free to comment below. And yeah, and if you know anybody going through this process, you know, and you find my vlogs helpful, then let them know. I'm here, just being real, and park it illegally, and gotta go. Later.